he brings that old Kubota home on a trailer and leaves it hooked up to his truck, so all he'd have to do is run it down here and unload it on my bank in the front yard and drive it to the back. Maybe. If I can get him to do it. I tell you, my old grading man that I went to high school with used to do all my grading, dug my swimming pool or part of it, covered it up for me. He got cancer and passed away. And I had some bad news today. I had a good old Navy buddy up in New Hampshire, and his neighbor called me today and said he passed away, but his name was John. John rode that Harley Davidson motorcycle out in San Diego. I used to ride with him on, behind him. It was his motorcycle. And when John got discharged, he rode that Harley Davidson all the way to Albany, New York. That's where he was from. But he moved over to New Hampshire, and we kept in touch all these years since 1955. But old John, he called me about 2 weeks ago and said it sent him home to die. He had a brain tumor. It was inoperable, and it got him real quick. So, and his neighbor told me that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go quick, not have a long sick period or anything. And he said he went that way. He just went to sleep, didn't wake up. But I'm gonna miss old John. Anyway, we're all getting old. Old John was 90. He wasn't 91. He was coming up on 91. And he was a machinist mate. WT6R K4RVN.
KE7IR/VE3 WT6R. Well, I'm unable to turn my beam right now, Patty, but I hear you. I'm sure Frank will too. And I think George and Rick are going to be coming by here pretty soon. So, yeah, Frank, I don't know anybody that's died here recently, but I agree. Your friend, he went out the right way. But to ride a Harley Davidson all the way from San Diego to New England, that is quite a feat. People don't realize how tough that is. He must have been a tough guy. KE7IR/VE3 WT6R. Good evening to you.
Well, good evening to you. It's nice to hear everybody. Well, you and Frank, that's what I've heard so far, and nice to hear we might have more company. I was in the living room having a nice chat with my friend Tim. Just talking about this event, nothing in particular, and enjoying our visit together. Her little boy, who's 2.5, went to sleep about 9 o'clock, and so we were enjoying each other, but she was happy to be released so she could go take a quick shower. So anyway, here I am. I've had a good day, fairly restful day. Didn't do a whole lot today. Back over to you, Frank, and sorry to hear about your friend's passing. Well, I guess, that's what is going to happen to all of us, so we have to be prepared for either we're going to go or they're going to go. It doesn't change, that's the way life is. So I'm sure you're going to do okay, and yes, of course, you'll miss your friends. So K4RVN and the group KE7IR/VE3.
KE7IR/VE3 K4RVN. Very fine, Patty. I'm copying you about 5/9, no problem. A lot of static on the band. Yeah, Patty, we old motorcycle riders got a saying, I've had a good ride, and I'm too old to die young. So it's all going to get us one of these days, and when it does, I sure can't complain at all. I guarantee you, I've had a good ride. So, anyway, I hope everything is all right with you and the solar system is working fine. And it's amazing that you can go off and leave that thing for a season and then go back and it still works with a little bit of prompt in there. And everything's going good here, Patty. My leg with the cellulitis in it is looking better for a change. The antibiotics giving me a fit, giving me a little nausea, and hyperactive. I can't go to bed at night and sleep. I get in the bed and I'm hyperactive, so I usually get up and put my clothes on and go get on the couch, and I usually can't sleep on that, so I sit in a chair, a recliner. But that's all right, because I can sleep during the day, and that's part of the problem, I think, is sleeping during the day. But I'm not complaining. If I can get rid of this redness in my leg, I'll be real happy, and it looks like it's getting less red, so that's good news for me. WT6R, K4RVN in the group.
Well, this is WT6R. Thank you, K4RVN. Let me see if anybody else is out there, like W7GDK and or W0SKI. We're listening. All right, that's coming though. Well, Patty, I was, let's see, going to give you a weather report out here today. 90 degrees today, but a clear day. And of course, 90 degrees in the summer. If it was 90 degrees in Amato, you'd be saying it's a nice cool day. But not too bad. Humidity's down. You guys have probably all been watching the park fire up there. It's covered a lot of ground. I saw some good photographs of it, though. There are just miles and miles of this dry grass, right, open plain type country with scrub right in it. And, this fire, it's just burning up that dry grass. So, when they're saying, it's 368,000 acres, it's really not, that bad. It's not like it's that big all at once. It's just a fire line that continues to consume a lot of that brush and stuff. So, but the news likes to make quite a bit of it, and of course the smoke is circulating all around and making the skies pink out here. But it kind of makes for a nice sunset. But down here in Southern California, knock on my plastic table, everything seems to be doing well. KE7IR, still VE3. I assume that the 2.5-year-old. It's funny. I was going to say, when you're between 2 and 3, you're still counting a month. After you're 3 years old, nobody says he's 3 years and 4 months. It's usually once you're over 3, then you have to start going year by year. KE7IR, still VE3, WT6R.
WT6R and the group, KE7IR. Well, you're right about that. I think it is true. Right around 24 months is when you quit paying that for a child. And, well, with him, he's a sweet little guy. He's also got a little bit of a temper and is occasionally asserting his independence. He has a really, really big vocabulary for his age. Unbelievable. And he loves to be read to. And so I convinced him that he should like a book that I like, which is a book about it's a fantasy story, but it's about a chameleon. And so he can now say his version of chameleon, which doesn't exactly sound that way, but if you're around him enough, you know that's what he's saying. And it's pretty cute that he comes running with the book and wants me to read him about the chameleon again. Very sweet child. Let's see. Frank, I wanted to make a comment regarding your cellulitis, and glad to hear that your leg getting better, or at least less red. That's good news. And I know it can be troublesome having to take the antibiotic, whatever it may be. I suspect it's pretty strong, because I know cellulitis is a bit hard to get under control. And I would suggest that you consider eating yogurt that has probiotic in it, something like Activa or a Greek yogurt, to keep your stomach sort of balanced. I don't know if that would help with the sleeplessness, but I know it could help keep your stomach from getting out of whack. You talked about nausea, so just a suggestion, I usually make sure if I'm on an antibiotic that I'm also eating a good quality yogurt. Anyway, I will send it to you, Frank, with a little pause in between in case we have anybody else joining us. K4RVN, here is K7IR, stroke BE3.
Is there anybody else like to join us? This is K4RVN with KE7IR, stroke BE3, and WT6R. Come now. Didn't hear anybody, Patty. Well, thank you, Patty, for your comments. I'm doing good today. I was telling Doug that since noon today, I haven't had any trouble with my stomach, so maybe I'll get by tonight. And I can get by okay with no sleep. I usually don't get but about 6 hours anyway, because I sleep during the day. I need to get back on regular time, but checking in with Bill after midnight, between midnight and 1 a.m., that keeps me up pretty late, and then I get hyperactive. I've always been get a second wind at midnight anyway. I guess that goes back to my old Navy days when I had to stand watches in the middle of the night. Anyway, didn't do anything today, Patty, except I ran into a real bargain. I told Doug about it. I looked on the internet last night. I was thinking about buying me a roll of THHN house wiring, number 14, stranded copper. And Lowe's had their 500-foot roll, brown only, color for the insulation. A regular $74 roll for $19.72. Well, I meant to get up this morning early and go over and get a couple of rolls, but I didn't get over till 4:30. I forgot about it, really. And when I got there, they had 5 rolls left, so I bought 4 of them. It was $83 for 2,000 feet of that wire. So I am set until the end of my term for playing with antennas. I've got enough wire. And I'm gonna take one of those 500-foot rolls this fall. I'm gonna go down in the woods and I'm gonna run about 500 feet out there if I can and make me a beverage antenna. I've had a beverage before and I could hear stuff on it that I couldn't even hear on the beams. I mean, you could copy it very good. Not much signal strength, but real good audio. So that's what I did. I consider that a real buy, once in a lifetime deal. They hadn't sold wire that cheap since back around 2003. Back over to you, Doug. WT6R, K4RVN.
K4RVN, WT6R. Excuse me. Yeah, I actually went to town today and tried to find that at Lowe's, and they did not have that bargain here. I did stop by Chick-fil-A and got a sandwich there. One of them. Excuse me. for a second and see if George or Rick is in there. Whiskey Tango 6 radio.
All right, well, I gave a little pause, and now I will give a little advertisement. If we have anyone who would like to join the group and you're able to hear me, I'll leave a space for you now. All right, they must be busy watching the news or the Olympics or something. I've been wanting to watch the Olympics, but I have not figured out a way to do it. I guess I could do it on my computer. That tells you how hard I've tried, I guess. It's been very busy here, so I really haven't had much opportunity for anything other than the normal stuff that one does day to day, making food and, keeping the house marginally clean and doing some laundry. Tomorrow we're going to try to take a little toodle in the boat. I think we'll, now that's weather permitting, of course, but it looks like it'll be a nice day tomorrow, and we haven't been out in the boat at all other than coming from the mainland and crossing here on Saturday. But I thought I'd take the deck boat out and just, back on the bar, maybe throw a line in the water. I don't know what I'll do if I catch anything, because I really don't know how to clean fish very well. I do have a video that Chris made for me, so if all else fails, I'll try to follow the video if I happen to get lucky and catch something. But that might be fun. I did want to give you guys each a signal report. Doug, you are 5'9" plus 10 to 15, and Frank, you are 5'9" plus 15 to 20. Both of you very strong, very easy copies this evening. Whatever noise there is, you're coming right over it, and I'm not hearing a thing as far as noise blocking anything out. And my goodness, a 500-foot roll for $19.72. I'd buy it no matter what the color was. Wow, that's great. I wish I had that opportunity, but I'm glad you took advantage of it, Frank, and it'll be very interesting when you get that beverage antenna deployed. It'll be interesting to hear how your results are. I know that W5WSS, Bob in Oklahoma, had several of them. I forget exactly how many, but pointed in different directions and really used to swear by the ability to hear things well. Okay, I think it goes over to you now. Over to you, Frank. K4RVS, KE7IR, stroke VE3.
KE7IR, stroke VE3, K4RVN. Very fine there, Patty. Good copy. You still 5 over, sometimes a little bit more. Noise is pretty bad tonight, but you're coming right over the top of that. And Doug, I did want to say that I heard Bob talking about his radios. He said they were only 20 feet long. Did you catch that? Over?
Yeah, I did catch that. Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's a multi-band antenna. Now, you got a monoband, I think. It should be anyway. You could call it a monoband. So I think you're doing right with those long ground radios. But you might, well, I've already told you about that EHAM. They got some interesting stuff on there. A lot of people use verticals where they have small yards and so forth. You got a great big space. So I tell you, that thing ought to work like a charm. Anyway, I won't be using any aluminum electric fence wire down through the woods, or last time I used galvanized. I sure am glad I did, because